Marriage should be fun, fulfilling, and full of joy, but too often, outside voices try to define what it should look like. Your Best Marriage Now is here to challenge the norms and help couples build a relationship that feels right for them. Hosted by Rashima and Jack Mountain, this podcast is all about embracing the freedom to love, laugh, and grow together. We believe in living at your own address, meaning your marriage should reflect your values, your happiness, and your vision. Join us as we share real conversations, practical insights, and plenty of fun along the way. Let's dive in together.
Welcome to Your Best Marriage Now. I am Jack Mountain, and I'm joined with my lovely wife, Rashima Mountain. And today we want to talk about vision. As you can tell, we got on our matching shirts. You know, that is the two being one today. But one of the things that we want to jump right into this episode and talk about vision. You know, the Bible says without a vision, the people perish. And how can two walk together if they don't agree? So we have had a lot of conversations. We build everything that we do around here on the 3 C's, which is communication, compromise, and commitment. Communicating, getting into the other person's shoes, hearing where they're coming from, commonly sharing what's going on with you and what's going on with them. We come to a place where we're on the same page. You know, that's the terminology that we use now. Compromise, getting to a place that we have a win-win in the relationship. And then commitment, basically saying at the end of the day, I'm not going anywhere. But when we talk about vision, you know, we have talked to couples over the years. We have gone through our own life. We've, you know, worked with couples during counseling, and all the time, the vision is not always clear. Sometimes a person has a vision for a thing. The person is on board. There's a vision and the person's not on board. You a dream killer. You know, I thought you had my back, all of those type of things. So we wanted to talk about vision today, and what that looks like, what it really means, and, you know, just see, you know, judge your own household, self-evaluation of where you and your spouse may be.
Yeah, because people want to know what you bring to the table.
Oh, God.
And as a married couple, I still need to know what you bring to the table.
My goodness.
And for us in the beginning, it was nothing.
We brought nothing to the table because we
brought
brought each other. We brought love. That's what we had.
We brought love. Went out to eat.
Went out to eat, and the little paycheck that I did have, I brought that. And
the paycheck
that you had was a little bigger than mine.
Yeah.
In the beginning, she did make more money than I did, twice what I made actually. But that's who we were.
Man, I feel for people who don't get the opportunity to grow together.
Yes.
And how you are robbed of seeing gifts unfold, seeing the things that God has placed on the inside when society just places so much emphasis on the materials. How much you make, where you live, what you drive. You can't afford me, this, that, and the other. And it's like, maybe he can. Maybe you really can't afford you.
Right.
You know, if that's all that you are about. Because you and I were talking one day and you said, God looks on the heart. He never asked us what we brought to the table because we brought nothing.
Right.
And if it were not for him, we wouldn't have the things, the bag, the this, and this. We wouldn't have any of that stuff.
If God would have chose a king the way people choose spouses, David wouldn't have got chosen.
Man, I ain't looking for nobody out in the field.
Right. David was trash man. He out there working hard, smelling bad, versus you lined up all your corporate America sons. One of these got to be the guy.
Yeah.
And God was like, I'm looking at the heart. None of these are the guy.
And that's what we've, through our own relationship, we have grown and evolved. And I've had to make some corrections on what my expectations were. Because, you know, I'm not going to say you're not a big thinker. You are. You just like, okay, well, what's the first step to it? By the time I see something I'm way, y'all see way? You see? You don't even see it. She ain't even, and you like, babe, let's do it.
Yes.
What's the first step?
The first one.
Like, what's the first step? And so vision, we realize that our vision over the years has changed. Some of our vision at the time when we first started was, let's make sure the lights stay on.
Yes.
When we started our business, it's like, can we get one? You remember we were rejoicing over the first client.
The very first one. We just wanted one.
We just
phone
wanted
call,
one
paying customer.
One paying customer.
And then we went from one to, man, we could get two.
And then we went
get
to three
in
a week. And then it became Big Faith was one a day.
If we get one a day, boy, life would change.
Yeah. And so our vision has evolved. And I realized that, you know, during that process, because we saw it, I saw it happening, I wanted more. And I used to put pressure on you for the more.
Right.
And so much so to where I would forget the days that there were none.
Yes. And here's the thing. You know, we put pressure on men, pressure on women to make things happen. It's one thing if I could make it happen and I'm not doing it.
Right.
But I can't make anybody call my phone to get business.
Right.
I've gone out, I've done the marketing, I've done the social media, I've passed out cards, I went to the network meeting, I did all of this stuff, and the phone didn't ring. I can't make the phone ring.
Yeah. Oh, but yes, you can, because you got the universe.
I'm going to manifest it. Okay. And this phone still wasn't ringing. Now, and so that's what I'm saying about we can't make stuff happen. Because if I could have made it happen, we would have never struggled.
That is so good.
If I could have made it happen, we would have never struggled. We would have started the business, and as people say, we would have blew up.
Yep. Overnight.
Overnight. Oh, yeah, of course, because I'm in control of it. But I'm not in control of it. And as I told you one time, I don't know, it was like year 10, year 12 in the business. I said, I'm so glad we didn't blow up. And you said, why is that? And I said, because I didn't know enough. Remember, I had got into that new training and a new level of understanding with construction and all of this stuff. And I was like, man, if I had got the blow up that I was looking for, man, we'd have been in a lawsuit somewhere.
We would have been,
because I did not know enough.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the vision, we were really starting off with just a vision. You know, and I think with the pressure of society, everybody's like, oh, I want to meet somebody who's already got their purpose and in their purpose and in their vision, and they should know where they're going. And we didn't have that.
No, we didn't. We just knew we loved God, we loved each other.
Yes.
And we wanted something.
Yes.
And we wanted to build something together.
And you were already, and this is where vision can be general and become specific.
Yes.
When I met you, you were already involved in real estate.
Yeah, I was doing mortgages.
I was going to the real estate seminars. So we met with a common vision of we're interested in real estate.
Yes.
That was all the vision we had.
Yep.
Then it got more specific when you got into mortgages, and then I got into home inspections.
Yep.
It became more specific. And then the vision became more specific as it started to grow. It was like, man, okay, we can see having multiple inspectors.
Yeah, it turned into we turned it into a business.
A business.
Which is a system.
Yes. And you were able to put the system together. And so, but it's a beautiful thing when we allow it to grow together.
Yes.
We were walking the path together.
Yeah.
I didn't come in with a fully staffed inspection company, hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, per month, and you can't tell me nothing because I built this.
Right.
It's like, what's wrong with building it together?
Right.
What's wrong with each person having a part?
Yeah.
And, you know, and as I always say, there's no such thing as a self-made man. There's no such thing as a self-made woman. Somebody gave you some input somewhere.
Somewhere.
And
yes.
that's why they call it pillow talk.
Right.
Oh, you built $1 billion industry. Yeah, you did. But your wife said something in the shower, at the dinner table, while y'all was laying down. Because when Mr. Amazon got divorced, they gave his wife half of that company. They didn't say, oh, you're a self-made man. You built Amazon by yourself. They was like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
So we're going to give her half of it.
Yeah.
Because you need input.
Yes.
Even if I don't fully understand what you're doing, I just remember, you know, I was working with a guy trying to do these inspections, and finally you was like, why don't you get that certification?
Right, because you was letting money was going out the door. And if y'all know anything, I used to have a coaching program and they called me Miss Money Mountain. And I was calculating all that money going out the door.
Because I kept partnering with a guy to do the inspections. And he was like, why
no,
are you
sir.
partnering with him? You could do this yourself. But that was the lazy part. Didn't want to take the time to study that big test, that big old book, hundreds of dollars for the book.
Right.
Hundreds of dollars for the test.
Mm-hmm.
And what if I fail it?
And
Which
you
I did the first time, right?
I was like, but take it again.
Take it again. And I passed it the second time and was a game changer.
And it's still paying
to this day.
Dividends to this
day.
Doors would not have opened
without that certification.
I don't care how much we would have prayed. I don't care how much we would have laid hands.
They wanted that piece of paper.
Them folks wanted that paper.
Yeah, they did.
And when you didn't have it,
they didn't open the door.
They did not. And
Favor didn't open it.
It did.
He's like, yeah, we show you favor as soon as you show us that paper. And that was 2009. It has been 16 years.
Yeah.
And that certification is still paying us to this day.
Yeah.
To this day.
To today. Y'all.
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars made off of one certification.
Yes. And I'm glad you said it was a part of both and.
Yes.
It was me encouraging. It started out as encouraging, and then it became a complaint.
Yeah, because you started seeing how much money we was losing. You was like, bro, you keep giving him that much.
Woman.
Come on, man. Come on, Cletus. He was like, come on, Cletus, get that certification. Fear.
Yeah.
I was afraid. Afraid to fail a test.
Yeah.
But when you start really considering, man, how much you really losing, it was like, my goodness, who knew the doors that would open, the opportunities that would come from getting it. But with vision, two becoming one, walking the road together in agreement, you may need some encouragement along the way. You may need some correction along the way.
Yeah.
You can't always see you.
Yes. And when not only did that help at that moment, but it also positioned us to start helping other people.
It established us as leaders in the market.
Yes. We're talking about vision. We didn't know we were already helping couples in their marriage. It spilled over into business.
Yes.
You started mentoring other men, and then they wanted to expand their business, and so we started teaching them business. But we didn't have that in year one. We didn't have that with the what do you bring to the table mentality. Well, you don't have this, you don't have that, you ain't making $250,000. Y'all gonna miss out on some good men, some real good men, some fine brothers that got it going on. You gonna miss out because you're not seeking God. You seeking their portfolio. So that's for whoever it is. Let it help you. Y'all need to be like Prince. Prince said, I may not know where I'm going and I may not know what I need. But one thing's for certain, baby. I know what I want. He said, I please you not. He said, I know I want you.
I want you.
And I was like, I take that any day and twice on Sunday. I can work with that. And it wasn't about me coming in rescuing you because you didn't need rescuing. Most people don't have that rescue mentality. They have that I'm still working to try to find a thing that works for me. Yeah. And I saw that. And even in the marriage and in the business, I saw that about you. I saw that, I mean, you were a biology chemistry major. My God. Take the test, man.
Right.
Because I saw you. And because I saw him, I could help him the vision of the next level. Let's get here. The vision, okay, let's do another one. Let's do another one. Because we were talking about where we wanted to go, what we wanted to do. We wanted to move out of the neighborhood. And your vision could be, okay, I want to move out of this neighborhood and move into another neighborhood. My thing is, okay, yeah, let's So how can we work together? You're good at this. I'm good at this. You used to say people and paper. I hated that term. I hated it. But the vision was we are trying to get here. You're strong in paper. Like I'm very strong in business. Systems, order, structure, plays no games. He's real strong. He is the person. He is the marketing. He is the sales. He is all of that. And together we are a dynamic. But it would have never happened if you and I were trying to live in somebody else's vision. Well, they made this amount at this time, so why we not doing it? Or so-and-so came and if that works for you, let it work. But for the rest of us, other people, we have grown in our vision over the years.
Right. And people don't, one of the things I tell you, whenever we start following somebody on Instagram, what's one of the first things I always do?
You scroll back to the beginning.
I always scroll back to the beginning of their page.
Yep.
Because I want to see where you started.
Yes.
Tell me, and I ask people this all the time, tell me where Mr. Jeff Bezos was, Amazon. Tell me where he was in 1998. We weren't talking about him in 98.
Nope.
But I guarantee he was in business.
Yep.
You heard about him once they started coming to your door.
Yep.
I said, but he's been out there. We want the big, we want the blow up. And I was like, these people didn't blow up. We didn't blow up. We grew up.
And a lot of times if you blow up, you might not have the character to keep up.
That's right.
You just might not have it.
You don't.
And we in the music industry, we have seen one-hit wonders.
Yes.
But we have seen people who have been in it from the 80s and they still relevant.
Yes, LL.
Snoop.
Still around.
Yep.
Snoop, still around.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre.
They didn't know they would be where they are today from the beginning. And suppose his wife and boss lady would have been like, Snoop, you ain't brought this and you ain't got that. You would have missed out.
You would have missed it.
And if you want to have your best, them women is having their best marriage today. Because they had vision. Duh.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I was about to get on a whole tangent with that one.
I mean, this is what we're here for. Go ahead and tangent with it.
But I feel like I've said it. And even in the marriage, it's like your husband is not Jim down the road. Why don't you take it since you know so much? Beautiful sisters of mine, you know so much, you get in the bag, you doing this, all this other. Why don't you take that same energy and help him find what he's gifted at? If that's so, and maybe he's gifted to help you rise. Maybe that's really his vision, but because you're so used to it being like so-and-so, you missing out on your next level, and it's right there in your husband. But vision starts with a conversation. It's like, okay, this is what I'm good at. This is what you're good at. How can we combine those things? Y'all, vision is about combining. The two are better than one. It's like, okay, yeah, you've made it so far by yourself, but how much further can you go if you are willing to let somebody help your tail?
Yes.
And stop putting pressure because you living at somebody else's address.
Yes.
And if you focus on yours, maybe you'll find the things that you're looking for so you can get to whatever 7, 8, I don't know what your figure is. Whatever that is for you, why don't you find it right here? Be willing to compromise and allow the other person to help you go where you're trying to go. That's what, hey, it's working for us.
It is working for us, and
we want to work for you.
Yeah, because you haven't tapped into all that the person is.
You cannot. God made us, and He didn't make us just one way all the time for forever. That's boring.
Yes,
that's boring.
Yes, yeah. We don't. I think I told you this, or we had that conversation one time. I was like, you haven't seen the best of me.
Yes.
Like, I haven't seen the best of you. I've seen what I've seen up until this point.
Right.
And then if you're stifling the gift that the person does have, you're not going to get the best out of them.
Yes.
I couldn't make you come out into the field to do construction work with us.
Yep.
but I could let you manage the construction work from the, you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like, well, this is the image I have. I want it to look like this, but that may not be who you're with.
Right. Right.
That may not be who you're with.
Yeah.
So you got to grow where you're planted.
And I do want to address where I've had women say, well, Rashima, yep, my husband not like Jock. My husband, he don't really do nothing. He don't really have no drive. And I was like, everybody got something. They got something in them. But maybe you're just not allowing it to come out. I don't speak for every man and I don't speak for every woman, but I do say, hey, first and foremost, why don't you pray? And then here's another thing. Why don't you ask him?
Yes.
Let that be a revelation.
Yes.
Why don't you ask him? And if it doesn't work, because there were things in the business that we tried, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
And we realized real quick that didn't work. But I didn't say, well, there you go, losing money. Did we lose money? Yep. I didn't go off and say, there you go, losing money. Because you were trying.
Yes.
We were saying, okay, that's all I'm saying, Ladies, just give
we were branching out. We weren't going far away from what we were doing. We were just looking for another avenue to grow what we were already doing. Some of the avenues made a bunch of money. Some of them was like, I never want to do that again.
Yep.
And that's fine. But at least we tried. At least we stepped out. The objective is let's just keep going. Let's keep growing. These things work. These things don't work. Somebody will bring that up again. Oh, we don't do that.
Yep. And
that kept us very clear on who we are.
Yep.
No, we don't do that. You may need to call this company for this.
Yes.
But we do these things. And so the vision can definitely grow, but it's just taking time to talk. Taking time, not trying to turn your husband into somebody else, not trying to turn your wife into somebody else. It's just finding out what do they have in them that can grow, that can flourish. Everybody doesn't have a business in them. Everybody is not gonna be the headliner on a thing, but boy, they sure can be a real good background person.
And can we applaud the background people?
Hello.
Like our producer over here.
Yes.
Applaud this brother.
Yes.
I mean, he ain't up over here trying to be us, but he is in his lane.
Yes. And
It's
y'all,
Brian Lane, by the way.
Brian Lane, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen. Train to catch planes.
Yes, and he is doing his thing.
You get your podcast made right here. So yeah, we know that's off the subject, but we giving him his props right now.
Yeah.
All right. But yes, but he's in his lane.
Yeah.
And him and his wife, they got a vision. They are musically inclined.
I'm definitely not.
Yeah, my God. We are neither one of us. Neither one of us. But what I'm saying is they in their lane.
Yes.
Musically inclined, musical family in the arts. That's the vision that the family is flowing in. We talked about on one of the previous episodes, training up a child in the way that they're already bent. They're already leaning towards this.
Yes.
When Eric, our oldest son, was a young boy, he was interested in business as a kid. Be making up little stuff. I'm gonna make a cologne. I'm gonna make a this. And then when he got ready to go to college, you was like, hey, he don't need to go to college. College isn't in him.
No.
But I wanted him to have the opportunity. It didn't work out because business was just already flowing out of him.
And that's okay that he didn't go to college.
Because he's a great businessman.
Because I told him, I said, Jock, he gave us one good year out of 12.
Right.
And that was the second grade. Why are we forcing this boy to go to college?
Exactly.
It's like you don't have to go to college to be
my God.
successful.
Exactly.
Now, if you are a neurosurgeon, take your tail to college.
Every school there is,
But
please.
we're not a health and wellness industry family.
No, we are
we're
a
not
real
doctors.
estate construction family.
Yes.
And that's what we do.
And that's what we're talking about, living at your own address, having a vision for your life. Because if you two were drawn to each other, then that means there are strengths in each other for y'all to live and be at your best today.
Right. And please, ladies and gentlemen, stop chasing the money. Do what's in your heart to do. Don't just go and start another thing because, Jerome and Sheila, they started such and such a business and man, they blew up. You have no interest at all, zero, none in what Jerome and Sheila are doing.
Yep.
You just want to do it for the money. That's not going to last.
Yep.
Because when you really do it and you really enjoy it, it will last. It will go further. You'll do it. You know, I inspect buildings and houses, and we do construction. I look at that stuff everywhere I go. It don't matter if I pull up at a restaurant, I'm looking at the roof, I'm looking at the ceiling. If I go to church, I'm looking at the building. If I go out of
What's
town,
wrong with their house?
right? I look at it. Don't matter. We went out of this country to Puerto Rico. I was looking at the buildings, going, hurricane prone. You know, I was like, man, it's what I do.
Yeah.
So nobody has to make me do it. Versus you just out here trying to do something for money.
Yeah.
It's like, just do what's in your heart. The vision comes out of your heart.
Yeah.
It comes out of your heart. And then when you got a spouse that'll support it, maybe they don't understand it or they just don't get me. Well, it came out of your heart.
Yeah.
Be a good communicator. Hey, this is what I see. Hey, this is what I'm thinking. Hey, I feel this. And they might say, well, you know, I kind of see you doing that, but what about this? Oh, wow, that would even be better.
Right.
The two can become one. And so we can have an awesome and amazing vision, support each other in it, and we all enjoy the journey. And the last thing I'm going to say is whatever you're trying to build, don't make it hurt your household. If it hurts your household, you should shut it down or scale it down. Because I do not believe in taking money from the household to support a business. And it hurts the house. Well, you know, I need to get the mortgage and use part of the mortgage money to do this thing or it ain't going to work. Your thing just not going to work. Not if it requires the mortgage money.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I need some of the car note money to buy the next such. No, sir. You go out there and find a way, sir, ma'am. But we're not taking it from the house. Because the first priority is 4 walls and a roof. Food, lights, car notes, everything functional here. Now, if your business don't work, it just don't work. But we're not going to make the home suffer to build your business.
Well, I didn't say it.
And I said that. Yes, because we have been in business for going on 20 years. And we are very successful at what we do. But we don't hurt our household. Period.
Yeah.
Ever, never. Now, we pay our employees. We've paid our employees and had zero left in the account before. But we're not going to hurt our home
Yeah.
for the sake of, oh, I need this next thing to do the business. Well, the business should be producing enough money to pay for the next thing. So, yeah, so we're not going in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt to start a business that ain't made no money. No, ma'am. No, sir. I know you may not agree, but that's just my opinion. So, anyway.
I wasn't going to even touch that one.
In closing,
Yes.
we would like to thank our sponsors, Dream Home Inspections. And if you need any inspections done, commercial or residential, feel free to reach out to Dream Home Inspections. And the information is on the screen, and they will be glad to help you with your real estate endeavor.